just want to say good afternoon or good day rather to all the listeners or the audience that will be previewing this interview at a later date. As you may or may not know, I'm Jermaine Wade, duly elected as the youngest parliamentarian in Montserrat at this present moment. I currently hold the post or the title as Parliamentary Secretary as the official title. Parliamentary Secretary with responsibility for youth affairs, sports, culture partially, and community development. Also share responsibilities with the Minister for Education, Community Services, and Health. I, however, play a role as Deputy Speaker, as elected as Deputy Speaker of the House in Montserrat, the youngest ever, as a matter of fact. And as a member of Team MCAP, I'm actually the youngest candidate who have ever ran with that party, that political party. Okay.
Good day, Mr. Wade. Question number one. As a past debater of the MSS Debating Society, how was that experience, or how has that experience assisted you in your role as legislator?
Well, for one, it helped me to develop my public speaking skills. It helped me to get rid of the shy hairs that I probably had. Persons who know me would probably say I never had them really. But it's always a difference speaking in front of people as opposed to speaking to people that you know. So being a part of the debating society, it helped me with my public relations skills, my ability to stand and speak in front of people without having a script per se. It has molded me in some instances.
As a young person living on Montserrat, do you share the view that there is a need for proper recreational facilities on the island? And how do you see yourself contributing towards bringing this about?
Well, of course, as I said, I'm responsible for youth affairs, sports, and culture. Oftentimes you hear young people say there's nothing in Montserrat for them to do. I credit this to the lack of facilities that we have in Montserrat. In fact, I tell you, the government of Montserrat has plans to develop a sporting complex, which will be also used as a multi-purpose complex in the Braids area and the existing compound. We're looking to start that project within the next year or so. It's going to be quite a costly program, and as you know, we're in financial constraints at this present moment. So yes, I share the view that we need recreational facilities. That is one of many. I think we also need a nightlife in Montserrat for young people. I find that we are a bit too idle as young people in Montserrat, and this may be as a result of us not having anything to do. So I do agree.
Okay, Mr. Wade. Being aware of the fact that many of our youth reside off-island, some with no intentions of returning home, what are you, serving in the capacity that you are, willing or planning to do to encourage them to return to Montserrat?
Well, somehow I kind of expected that question. To be honest, I would answer that question by saying, firstly, I would look at encouraging who we have living in Montserrat at this moment to stay here. Because what we find is that every year we lose a lot of our young people to what we call the brain drain. And if you notice the brain drain, because we tend to lose our smartest persons, the top graduates from secondary school, who go on to further their studies, never to come back to Montserrat. There's often talk of coming back home, but then there's question as to come back home to what. I would encourage young persons to come back. There are incentives. There's much talk of there not being any incentives to come back to Montserrat. There are job availabilities that are open for everyone, both local and abroad. There are the same reasons that I would have stayed here. I would think it's for the love of country. You shouldn't have to be encouraged or motivated to come back to Montserrat. You left Montserrat to go and acquire skill or knowledge, just like yourself, Miss Mead. That is correct. You left, you acquired a university education. You're now back here contributing to the development of Montserrat, and that is what it's all about. Leaving Montserrat, bettering yourself, coming back. So the motivation should come from within, as opposed to the government of Montserrat putting things in place for you to want to come back.
Good. If I, for example, approached you and said that I was contemplating between going to studies and running for elections, what advice would you give to me?
It boils down again to the individual's situation. I kind of figured that question came about as a result of assuming I was in such a position. I would make it abundantly clear I was never in such a position. So it would, from my perspective, I would say it depends on your individual situation. What do you want from your life? What do you want to do in the long term? You know, for me, it has been assumed that I put education or furthering my studies on the sideline to offer myself as a candidate. I would say that is not so. It boils down to what you want to do for your country. I love Montserrat tremendously. I believe I have a lot to offer as a young person. And as I've said in the past, it's more than Jermaine Wade. It's about the young people of Montserrat getting the exposure that is needed, the avenue to voice and hear their opinion, and we now have that. I would also like to use this opportunity to say to young people of Montserrat, use me as that medium to get your voices to be heard. I'm not in it for Jermaine Wade, I'm in it for the people of Montserrat, the young people of Montserrat, the future of Montserrat.
Okay, Mr. Wade. What are your thoughts on making sports compulsory in schools or making it a part of the school curriculum?
Sports is a part of the school curriculum. In fact, it is compulsory. However, has it been upheld as it should be? That may be questionable, but sports is a part of the school curriculum. I do feel strongly that sports contributes to the well-being of our young people a lot. I support sports. In fact, I'm a sportsman. I participated in almost every sport in Montserrat. And I strongly support that sports should continue. I say continue because it is within the school system and it will remain within the school system as a compulsory.